Is cricket the so-called gentleman's game as clean as it appears to be? This question may surprise you, but it's a question we must ask. The world of cricket, long held as a beacon of sportsmanship and fair play, is not as pristine as it seems. There lies a dark underbelly, one that taints the sport's reputation and shakes its very foundation. Today we delve into the issue of corruption in cricket, an issue as significant as it is insidious. For many, cricket is seen as a gentleman's game, a sport of honor and integrity. But beneath this polished exterior, there exists a stark contrast, a reality that's far removed from the idyllic image painted by the willow swing and the ball's tuneful thud. The reality of corruption. This is a tale of two worlds, the world we see and the world that remains hidden. So let's dive into the murky world of cricket corruption to uncover the truth. How did corruption find its way into cricket? Cricket in its early days was more than just a game. It was a symbol of unity, camaraderie, and sportsmanship, graced with innocence and enjoyed in its purest form. Picture a time when the bright green pitch was an arena of honor, where every run scored and every wicket taken was a testament to skill and strategy. The transformation of cricket over time, however, is a narrative that took an unfortunate turn. The allure of fame and fortune began to overshadow the essence of the sport. The first recorded instances of corruption in cricket are as heartbreaking as they are intriguing. Let's go back to the late 70s. South Africa, isolated from international cricket due to apartheid, saw its cricketers lured into rebel tours. These were matches organized against the sanctions, an act of defiance that was incentivized by hefty paychecks. Then came the infamous scandal of the 90s. The cricket world was rocked to its core when the captain of South Africa, Hansie Cronje, admitted to accepting money for underperforming. This was a moment of revelation that changed the perception of the game forever. The sanctity of cricket was compromised, the innocence lost. The impact of these instances of corruption was far-reaching. It wasn't just about the players who fell from grace or the matches that lost their credibility. It was about the millions of fans worldwide whose faith was shattered. The sport they revered was tainted by the greed of a few. Cricket started to lose its luster. The sound of the ball hitting the wicket no longer echoed victory but resonated with the murmurings of foul play. The cheers of the crowd began to fade into whispers of doubt. As the stakes grew higher, so did the frequency and severity of corrupt practices. The game that once united nations began to divide them, and the sport that was once a symbol of honor became a playground for deceit. As we delve deeper into this narrative, we'll uncover the rise of match-fixing, the new avatar of corruption. So, how did corruption find its way into cricket? It was a slow, insidious process, a gradual erosion of values and principles. The innocence of cricket was lost, but the story doesn't end here. As the stakes grew higher, so did the frequency and severity of corrupt practices. What happens when players become pawns in a larger game? This question has become all too relevant in recent years with the rise of match-fixing in cricket. This dark side of the sport began to emerge in the late 20th century, and it's been a thorn in the side of the cricket world ever since. Match-fixing is more than just a betrayal of the sport. It's a betrayal of the fans, the teams, and the spirit of cricket itself. So how did we get here? The roots of match-fixing in cricket are deeply intertwined with the rise of underground betting syndicates. These syndicates found willing accomplices in players, umpires, and even team officials who were lured by the promise of quick wealth. In the most notorious cases, key players were implicated, their reputations forever tarnished. The impact of match-fixing on the sport has been devastating. It has eroded trust in the game, made fans question the integrity of matches, and cast a long shadow over the sport. And for those players found guilty, the repercussions have been severe. Careers have been ruined, lives derailed with bans, fines, and in some cases even jail terms. But the cricketing world has not taken this lying down. Governing bodies have stepped up their efforts to curb match-fixing. They've introduced stringent measures including anti-corruption codes, education programs for players, and even partnering with law enforcement agencies to track and penalize offenders. Yet the battle is far from over. Match-fixing is a complex issue with roots in the wider societal issues of greed and corruption. It's a game of cat and mouse between the authorities and those who seek to undermine the sport for their own gain. The stakes are high, the opposition is formidable, but the love for the game and the desire to preserve its integrity are stronger. Despite the efforts to curb it, match-fixing continued to plague the sport. But the fight goes on, and the cricketing world remains hopeful that the day will come when the sport can finally shake off this dark shadow. What if the entire match isn't fixed, but just a few crucial moments? This alarming question marks the emergence of a new, more insidious form of corruption in cricket: spot fixing. Unlike match fixing, which involves predetermining the outcome of a game, spot fixing focuses on specific, seemingly insignificant moments within the match. These could be anything from a wide ball in the third over, a no ball at a particular point, or even a dropped catch. The nefarious brilliance of spot fixing lies in its subtlety. It's like a chameleon, blending seamlessly into the unpredictable ebbs and flows of a cricket match, making it almost impossible to detect. This doesn't just challenge the integrity of the sport, it shakes it to its very core. When the purity of every ball bowled, every run scored, every catch taken is in question, it casts a long, dark shadow over the entire game. Let's take a moment to recall some infamous instances of spot fixing that rocked the cricket world. Who can forget the shocking revelations of the 2010 Lord's Test between England and Pakistan? 3 Pakistani cricketers were found guilty of spot fixing, tainting an otherwise thrilling match with the stain of corruption. This incident was a wake-up call, revealing that even the game's highest levels weren't immune to this menace. Then there's the Indian Premier League scandal of 2013, where a few players were found guilty of spot fixing. The scandal not only brought disrepute to the world's most lucrative cricket league, but also raised questions about the impact of big money on the sport's integrity. These cases, and many others like them, have left indelible scars on the face of cricket. They've forced us to question whether we can ever truly trust the game again. Spot fixing brought a new dimension to cricket corruption, making it even harder to detect and eradicate. In the end, the fight against corruption in cricket isn't just about preserving the integrity of the sport. It's about preserving the magic of those moments that make cricket, well, cricket. Can cricket ever rid itself of the stain of corruption? It's a question that lingers in the minds of cricket lovers around the globe. The current state of cricket is a paradox. On one side, we see the sport's glittering spectacle, with rising stars and thrilling matches that capture the world's attention. But on the other hand, the shadow of corruption continues to cast a pall over the game. Allegations of match fixing, spot fixing, and other forms of corruption have become all too familiar headlines, tainting the image of cricket. Efforts are being made to combat this corruption. Cricket's governing bodies are investing in anti-corruption units and implementing stricter regulations. Players are educated about the dangers of corruption and the severe consequences they face if they choose to engage in such activities. Technology is being leveraged to investigate and monitor suspicious activities. But despite these efforts, the battle against corruption is far from over. The allure of easy money, the pressure from illegal betting syndicates, and the lack of stringent enforcement in some regions continue to pose significant challenges. So what does the future hold for cricket if corruption goes unchecked? The sport risks losing its credibility. The trust that fans place in the game, the belief that every ball bowled, every run scored, every catch taken is genuine, could be eroded. The very essence of cricket, the spirit of fair play, is at stake. But let's not forget, cricket is more than a sport. It's a reflection of our society, a microcosm of the broader world. And just like in the real world, there will always be forces trying to undermine the integrity of the game. The challenge is to ensure that the spirit of cricket prevails over these destructive forces. Only time will tell if cricket can reclaim its status as a gentleman's game, or if the shadow of corruption will continue to loom over it. The hope remains that the love for the game, the commitment of those who play it, and the passion of those who watch it will help cricket overcome this challenge and emerge stronger.